What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to review Port Adelaide versus Richmond, a 41-point victory at the Adelaide Oval in a wet, grim performance. That was a spectacle to watch at the Adelaide Oval for the 27,000 people that were there. Low crowd, but not to be disheartened because of the weather and the shit quality of football that was bound to be put out for the first three quarters that we saw anyway. But it's not so negative in my eyes. It's been a pretty good performance in my opinion for what it was, and the conditions and the way Richmond play in a sense. And I think with that performance, it definitely does give us a little bit of confidence. It gives players, individuals, confidence. I think more so than anything. I don't think it's something that we take as a big boosting win for our season and credentials by any means, but you sit here and you go, right, certain things happen with certain players that you're very pleased with. Certain moments in the game you're very pleased with, and overall the spectacle wasn't great, but we got the job done. We needed to do exactly what we did, and that was get the 4 points and get a bit of percentage back as well, which was quite nice for Port. So I'm pleased coming out of that one, and with 5 games to go, and they're very, very important games. This is definitely something that we needed. So a very, very pleasing performance by Port in the end. I think overall we sit here and we'll criticise certain things. We'll look at it and go, all right, this shouldn't have happened, but this should have happened, and everything that came with it. But there were certain performances from players that really stood out, and I'm going to get straight to the point with Logan Evans. I thought his game was unbelievable. His performance was something that out of this world. I think for an 18-year-old to have that much composure in those trying conditions, and was able to take the game on, but also know when to compose himself and know when to hit targets and know when to unleash, and he did everything perfectly. He took some great marks. He kicked a goal. He's a really, really, really impressive kid, and I'm really, really pleased that we picked him up in the mid-season draft. And if the AFL's watching, which they are, Logan Evans should be given the nod for an AFL Rising Star nomination. And for a year where I didn't expect a Rising Star nomination to occur for Port, he's come out of the blue, been absolutely phenomenal, and deserves a nod. So I wanted to give full credit to Logan for his performance. He was unbelievable. You combine that with some of the other youngsters as well. Jace Burgoyne's performance was sensational on the wing. I thought Miles Bergman's performance was unbelievable. Really a brick wall down there, and that play in the last quarter where he just slid in, took the ball, took the game on, and put it out the other side, and we ended up running away with it. It was beautiful. I was so impressed. And that's what we need these players to be doing, and these youngsters to keep developing and keep taking game on. Obviously, at the other end, Georgiadis was really, really impressive. I thought Rosie's game until that last quarter we got taken out was a captain's performance. I thought other players were still sort of working their way into the game. So clear standouts from individuals you wouldn't expect. And then, the other end of the scale, I thought Ollie Wines' game in the middle was very, very good. His contested way was good, but he needs to do that in big games. Charlie Dixon really came into fruition last night. A lot of the haters and critics and people like myself as well who have been questioning whether or not he can stand up in those moments. He did. He took his opportunities, took some nice marks, and kicked some goals, and was really, really, really impressive, I thought. And with Finlayson out, it's definitely going to be a Dixon-Georgiadis combination. Are you bringing back Marshall to throw into that as well? It's going to be an interesting sort of mix for that. And again, you have Rioli, I think DBJ's your lock down there, and then Horn Francis is playing off that half forward and also a target inside 50. So having those three, and then someone like Francis Evans coming on, Narkle, and these players rotating through that, I think they have a good opportunity. So I'm really impressed with his performance. And then lastly, Boak's performance as well. Quietened down in the last quarter, but I thought the way he moved on the wing and the way he was very, very competitive early, and he's able to still move as good as some of the youngsters, and he's kicking goals and taking the game on. It's a really impressive performance for him as well. It culminates into having that Burgoyne-Boak combination on the wing. Really helps with the ball movement and the way he can go from end to end and just constantly pick up the ball and read the play and know where to position himself, whether he gets the ball or not. He is always a target in case. So I'm really impressed with that, and overall, there's some good performances out there, and it's very pleasing and confidence boosting. I want to talk about the spray Ken gave the midfield group, because it's projected in a way where, this is the time of the year where the pressure is on. The players will be feeling it, coaching staff, the fans, the clubs, everything is pressure now, because you're in the fight for a final spot. Port Adelaide are in a fight. They were in a fight last night. Richmond brought it to Port, and defensively we weren't as sound. We haven't been that way defensively, running two ways all year. Like, it's always been a question mark of ours, and I think the way we're able to respond was very, very impressive. But it shouldn't need that at halftime from Ken to come over to the group and spray the midfield team, where they've they let us down in moments last night. With Richmond, they were very, they've always been a pressure forward team. Just get the ball, chaos footy, punching it through, and then soccer off the ground. Like, it's defensively, it's very difficult to do that, because, and in those conditions as well, if you get 1-on-1 and you can win your 1-on-1, they did that early, and they were able to do that. There was a couple of turnovers that we have. Asava Radigalia, I'm looking at you, where they were costly. But at the same time, once we got the footy, we've always been like that. Once we get the footy, we're a lot cleaner. We look good. We look a lot more flashy, and our talent came to the top. So I think in that spec, you look at it and you go, I'm not going to pinpoint this game in particular for those defensive efforts. They should be still happening, and I definitely think the spray was warranted. But the spray is, I think, a lot of built-up frustration from previous instances where players should be learning, and it comes into the first half of this game where it's crucial. We should be winning this game of footy, and we're putting out performances like that. Butters wasn't as effective last night. I think Horn Francis struggled to still get into the game a bit, and then Rosie had a good first half, and then Wines was solid, but that team wasn't quite as attacking, whereas I mentioned the youngsters before, and the penetration from half back was our key element. So I think obviously a lot to work with. There is a lot to improve. There is a lot to take out of this game, where you go, right, this is the basis of what we should be doing against the better sides. And the question mark now looks, it's pretty clear. 5 games. You play Carlton, you play Sydney, you play Melbourne at the G, you play Adelaide in a showdown, and then you've got Freo away. That's your 5 games. That's the toughest run home of the lot. Richmond could have very well be on paper right now, and that could have well been our last win of the year. I don't want it to be. I don't think it will be. I think we have to win 3 to guarantee ourselves a final spot. I think Melbourne and Adelaide are the ones that we have to eye off for 2 of those wins, and we have to nail one of the 3 of Sydney, Carlton and Freo. Do I believe we can win every single game? Absolutely not. Will I be surprised? Yes. But someone mentioned in the comments after the game, this is very much a time where if we want to actually be any sort of consideration for this year and stand up in a big moment and big time games, we should push to win all 5. It's an outlandish statement. I don't think we'll do it. But it's something that has to be in the back of the mind to say, right, we want to win a big game. We want to win all the big games. So this is the moment. There is no expectations next Friday night against Carlton. And I think that's scary for us, because we come into this game with no expectations. Well, the expectation's to win because we need to. But no one's giving us a chance, I don't think. And that, for me, is a positive. So it can be scary. And we've been in this position before, and we've stood up. So we'll see how we go. But for now, for me, I'm going to soak in this game, soak in this win, and just enjoy it for what it is, because season's nearly over. And at this time of the year, you just never know. So take the wins when they come, Port fans. I think that's my learnings at the moment, considering how pressurised this season is and how close it's going to be. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the game and how you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I didn't attend just because I've been so sick, and as you know, it's been a tough week. So I was still able to watch it, still enjoyed the game, and very, very pleased. And thank you very much for watching again. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. My name is Anthony, and as always, come the pair.